My wife demanded I get a vasectomy after our third child. 2 years later, I found out why she was so insistent. You love her kids, right? So 3 is enough. You should get a vasectomy. My name is Robert Hayes. I'm 38 years old, an HVAC technician in Phoenix, Arizona. And my wife Denise asked me that question 6 times in 3 months after our youngest was born. Not asked, demanded. It's the responsible thing to do, she'd say. I've been through 3 pregnancies, 3 deliveries. It's your turn to do something. She had a point, I thought. She'd carried our children. Morning sickness, labor, recovery. The least I could do was handle the birth control permanently. So 2 years ago, on a Tuesday afternoon, I went to a clinic and got a vasectomy. Simple procedure, uncomfortable recovery, but it was done. No more kids. Our family was complete. Except our family wasn't complete. It wasn't even real. Yesterday, our 8-year-old son Mason was rushed to the emergency room with appendicitis. Emergency surgery. Everything happened fast, and they needed blood typing for the transfusion protocol. Mason is type B negative, rare blood type, only about 2% of the population. I'm type O positive. Denise is type A positive. The doctor pulled me aside after surgery. Mason was fine and recovering, but there was something he needed to discuss privately. Mr. Hayes, there's a genetic impossibility here. 2 O positive and A positive parents cannot produce a B negative child. It's not medically possible. I stared at him. What are you saying? I'm saying that biologically, you cannot be Mason's father. The hospital corridor tilted. I grabbed the wall. But we have 3 kids. Mason, Lily, and Sophie. They're all mine. The doctor's face told me everything before he said, Mr. Hayes, I recommend genetic testing for all 3 children. And that was when I understood why Denise had been so insistent about the vasectomy. She didn't want to prevent more children. She wanted to prevent me from ever discovering the truth. I met Denise 11 years ago at a friend's barbecue. She was 26, working as a receptionist at a dental office. Pretty outgoing, fun. I was 27, just getting established in my career, ready to settle down. We dated for a year, got married in a small ceremony, bought a house. She got pregnant 6 months later. Mason was born on a cold January morning. I attended every appointment. I held her hand through labor. I cut the cord. I was the first to hold him, except he wasn't mine. Lily came 2 years later. Another planned pregnancy, or so I thought. Sophie came 3 years after that. One more, Denise said. I hesitated, but she insisted. Please, Robert, I want a big family. She became pregnant within 2 months. After Sophie's birth, something changed. She became distant, anxious, possessive of the baby. Her doctor said postpartum, but it wasn't postpartum. It was guilt and fear, because Sophie was 3 months old when Denise started pushing the vasectomy. 3 kids is expensive. We need to be responsible. You should get a vasectomy. I said no at first. She pushed harder, weekly, sometimes daily. She cried, accused me of not loving her, refused intimacy until I took responsibility. So I gave in. 2 years later, in that hospital hallway, I realized why she needed me sterile, so I wouldn't accidentally expose her lies. I ordered paternity tests that same day. Legal tests, witness collection. I watched Denise's face when I told her the kids needed cheek swabs, pretending it was routine screening. She was terrified. The next 5 days were hell. Denise barely slept. I watched her deleting things on her phone, shaking, pacing. I started digging into our past. Old photos, credit card statements, hotel charges from years ago, suspicious dinners for 2 when I was working night shifts. Then I found a $300 charge from a DNA lab right after Sophie was born. She had tested Sophie. She already knew. She knew at least one child wasn't mine. Maybe all 3. My phone rang on a Thursday afternoon. The hospital. Mr. Hayes, your results are ready. You're not the biological father of Mason, Lily, or Sophie. I asked if there was any chance of error. We ran them twice. Also, Mason and Lily share a biological father. Sophie has a different one. 2 men. My knees nearly gave out. I went home with the email open on my phone. Denise was making dinner like nothing was wrong. I got the test results today. Her spoon hit the pot. None of them are mine, I said. Not Mason, not Lily, not Sophie. She started crying, but I kept going. 2 different fathers. Mason and Lily have one. Sophie has another. She collapsed into a chair. I can explain. Then explain. Now, it took an hour to drag the truth out of her. Mason's father was her ex, Trevor. She was already pregnant when she met me. Lily? Trevor again. They'd hooked up once when Mason was a toddler. Sophie? Some guy from her work. He never knew she got pregnant. I laughed, broken and bitter. 11 years of lies. You pressure me into a vasectomy so I could never catch you. She cried. She begged. Then she got angry. Fine, leave. But you're still legally their father. You're on the birth certificates. You'll pay child support for all 3. There it was. Her real motive. Money. Security. Control. I walked out and checked into a motel. Sent everything to my lawyer. Arizona law is complicated, but my lawyer filed for annulment based on fraud. We argued the marriage was built on lies from day one. Denise's lawyer tried to paint me as abandoning children, but the DNA didn't lie. The timeline didn't lie. The vasectomy pressure didn't lie. The judge saw right through her. She ruled the marriage annulled due to fraud. No spousal support. Child support reduced to $400 monthly for 3 years, until she located the biological fathers. After that, my obligation would end. I was awarded $85,000 in restitution. Most importantly, I won the right to tell the children the truth when they're older. It's been 16 months. I live in a small apartment now. I'm rebuilding my life. I'm dating someone new, a nurse named Christina. She knows everything. She says the fact that I was a good father, even under deception, shows who I am. She wants kids someday. Real ones. Mine. Ours. Maybe the vasectomy can be reversed. Maybe not. But I have a future again. Denise is raising 3 kids on her own. The biological fathers are gone. Her family turned on her once the truth came out. She works 2 jobs now. I don't feel sorry for her. The kids sometimes send letters. Mason wrote, "Dad, I miss you. Mom won't tell me why you left. When I'm older, will you tell me?" Someday I will. I didn't leave because they weren't mine. I left because the life around them was built on lies. Denise wanted me to get a vasectomy so I'd never discover her secrets. But the vasectomy wasn't the end. It was the beginning of the truth.